Under what circumstances would you restart military strikes on targets?
Well, I don't want to say that. I mean, I can't tell that to a reporter. If they misbehave, if they do something bad, but right now, we'll see. But, you know, it's a possibility that could happen.
You heard it there. President Trump not ruling out the possibility of new strikes as the U.S. naval blockade of the Gulf of Oman remains in effect. For more, let's bring in former CENTCOM Deputy Commander and retired Navy SEAL Robert Harward. Admiral, President Trump has now revealed, and we've got a second bite, that there is still a little bit of missile making happening in Iran.
He said that only like 85% of Iran's missile-making capabilities has been eliminated.
Correct.
Is that other 15% important? Does the United States need to eliminate that?
Well, I'd like to eliminate it, yeah. I'd like to. It'd be a start for them to build up again. And, yeah, I would like to eliminate it.
So how much damage could Iran do with 15%, the remaining 15% of their missile-making abilities?
Well, then more importantly, they can threaten not only our forces in the region, but all our allies in the region. Saudi, UAE, and Qatar go after their desalinization plants, go after their oil infrastructure. So that's the biggest threat from their missiles and drones. And so I think as the president considers what the Iranians are offered, that's going to play heavy in his mind. And don't forget, this regime has always leveraged time on their behalf, and they're doing that right now. They're leveraging time to watch and hopefully see the political will of the United States deteriorate to a point where they've won, basically. So if the president is not satisfied and we have to strike, those military facilities are important, but more important and really the core of all of this is the IRGC. So I would hope those strikes focus on them, their leadership, their facilities, and their business. You take care of that problem, all the missiles, the nuclear facilities, those are secondary. So you've got to go at the core of these things. The people who have been promulgating the Islamic Revolution, all those policies, the nuclear weapons program, the missiles, the mines, the surrogates throughout the region, that's the center of gravity for Iran, and that's where we've got to focus our attention.
And the president has pointed out in the last couple of days that right now, the U.S. can just fly right over downtown Tehran with ease. Nobody from Iran is shooting them down. Nobody's stopping them. If we can do that, what is the holdup in going in to get this nuclear dust, the leftover uranium from the nuclear program?
Well, the nuclear program is a big package. That's a lot of people. You got to have equipment. You got to go in and recover it. You got to have safe. You got to hold a large piece of land for a large period of time. And we can do all that with minimal risk because we hold all the ground. But again, that's only one component of the IRGC and their policies. And your biggest risk is from those missiles and drones. Instead of shooting them at the straits, they'd be shooting them wherever we go aground. So again, the targeting process and where I think we should focus is on that leadership and all the military force that's inherent in the IRGC. And don't forget, at the start of this effort, the president offered immunity. So making sure those folks who do not have blood on their hand, be it political leaders, be it the artists, be it local police, those guys could be part of the future of Iran. So again, I would double down on the IRGC, taking them out everywhere we can with gunships, with strikes, with anything else. You solve that part of the equation, and the rest we can deal with in due time.
I had a chance to ask President Trump right before the CENTCOM commander came in to brief him about the new options for Iran, about all this. Listen here.
Iran is proving to be very stubborn. The talks seem like they are stalled. Are you getting antsy to break the ceasefire?
Well, I mean, I don't know what stubborn is because really nobody knows what the talks are except myself and a couple of other people. They want to make a deal badly. We have a problem because nobody knows for sure who the leaders are.
My last question, is your read that President Trump could rattle these new Iranian leaders into taking peace talks more seriously if he just bombs them a little bit more?
Well, I wouldn't say bombing in general, but yes, I think he can continue to rattle them by identifying people, identifying key components and going after those elements specifically, then yes, I think he can rattle and force them to capitulate on a lot of issues, and not through just negotiations, but just sheer capitulation.
All right. Well, Admiral Harward, thank you so much for being here. Covered a lot of ground.
Always good to be with you, Peter. Look forward to it.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.